Welcome to the Plan Commission of the Village of Morton, Illinois. This is the Monday, August 25th, 2025 meeting. And we need a roll call.
Opperly.
Here.
Knapp.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Ritterbusch. No. Guile.
Here.
Doherty. No. Keach.
Here.
Zobrist. Here. Suter.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting, which was in July 28th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of July.
We have a motion.
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, tonight we have one item on our agenda. We've got a public hearing tonight, and as usual, we're going to have our counsel give us a few pointers on public hearing.
Thank you. A public hearing is being held tonight pursuant to published notice. Any person wishing to provide testimony before the commission will be afforded an opportunity to do so under oath or affirmation. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the Plan Commission will make its recommendation. The Plan Commission makes recommendations only. The village board is responsible for taking final action on these matters.
Thank you. And so tonight we have one item, petition 2507SP. Subject property is located at 925 Detroit Court. A petition has been filed requesting a special use at this property. The current zoning classification is I1. The proposed change would be I1 with the special use allowing personal training / fitness business. Is there anybody from the petitioner who would like to stand up and speak to the case?
I'll start.
Okay. Stand there, you give your, and you need to be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes.
State your name and your address.
Brian Scheffler. Residential address is 1228 Wheatfield here in Morton, and the business we're talking about is 925 Detroit Court. Yeah, so I recently acquired that property. I've kind of been leasing a building in Morton for the past 15 years. Been looking to purchase a building and finally found this one very quickly. It was on the market for a day or two, and I've been looking for a long time, so I was pretty lucky. I own a video production company. We do a lot of sports broadcasts for Bradley, the Peoria Civic Center, a lot of other college athletic and conferences. The building's great. It's also a lot bigger than I needed and was looking for. So on my side, I've been looking for other opportunities to occupy the space, use the space, and make it beneficial for me, for the village, for other businesses. So that's kind of where Marnie Dick here comes into play with her business. She owns a training domain here in town and is very interested in using a part of my building for that purpose. So I don't know if you want me to go into a lot more details or ask questions or how this would normally operate.
Well, if you're finished, we could ask you some questions from the board.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd love to answer any questions about the building itself. Perhaps Marnie could answer questions about her business operations. But from my perspective, I'd love to make the building better and have it occupied and used for her type of business.
Are there any questions from the table?
What are the business hours expected? It's not a 24-hour
So
use.
just for procedural consistency, if you want to ask her a question, we got to have her sworn in and have her up on microphone.
Do you know what the expected hours are? I'll say
So I can speak to my business. I mean, generally, we produce live sporting events. They're in the evenings. I believe the business in question would be operating primarily the early morning to mid-afternoon hours.
Question.
Yes.
Would your tenant then have access to your full parking lot during their business hours as far as the parking spaces go? It looks like there's 46 of them.
Yeah, we haven't
Available for
we haven't solidified an exact number
Okay.
of how we divvy up the parking spots. But my business is incredibly small. I mean, at peak, would have 10 cars for my business, and I don't think her business would occupy a significant, I mean, I still think it would be under half occupancy with the parking lot. And I don't believe that the traffic caused, or the traffic with her business is going to be super significant. I mean, her business operates on a kind of an appointment basis. So it's not a public gym where, you know, a 24-hour fitness type of thing. It's more of a by appointment membership type of thing where there's not going to be hundreds of cars in and out.
And appointments would start and end about when?
I don't know that I can answer that question without her speaking.
You can be sworn in and go to the microphone.
Do solemnly swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give will be the truth,
I use what's called the Mind Body app, and my clients would, I only allow so many people coming in at a time because I'm personally training them, and or a couple of my trainers would be doing that. So I have only a set amount of 10 to 15, depending on the hour, that can come in at a time. So that is controlled completely by the app and by myself. So the time that they're in is usually a 45-minute to an hour time period, but they're there for personal training, functional training, meal accountability, and planning.
And they start when in the day?
4:30 in the morning is my first appointment that I have for clients to be able to come in, and that time slot is 10 people. And then it's normally not filled at 10 that early, but then I usually train until about the hours of 10 a.m. So last appointment is about 9 a.m. And then there's one-on-one training throughout the day where it's literally just one client and myself. I'm the only one that does those. Then we pick back up in the afternoon where it's another 10 slot per hour, where only 10 people are allowed to come in, up to 15 at a time, depending on that one particular time slot that I give, a 15 slot. And that's just for a small, like, intimate class that is for special needs or what have you. Elderly, silver sneakers, that sort of thing.
Do you have evening classes also?
My latest appointment is 5:30 p.m., so we're done at 6:30.
So you've made a point on your application and this evening about how you only have 10 people.
10 per period. So my max that I allow in is 20 people. Like there's a 20, well, COVID, there was only 10, but now we're at a 20 period, like a 20, yeah, where there could be an overlap. Let's say five are scheduled at, or excuse me, 10 would be scheduled, and this is a max. This is at max. This isn't always the way it is. But at max, say 10 were allowed at 5, and then maybe I allowed 8 at 5:30. Again, depending on the day, time, and how many trainers we have.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of shift the question over to the city. Is that something that is important to the city, that there only be 10 to 20 people there at a time on this property? I mean, did you guys, is that something that's?
We're concerned about making sure that all the uses at a certain property have enough off-street parking to provide enough for their uses, and so we're not creating a negative impact. So in terms of the available parking on the lot, I think it's sufficient.
Yeah. I think sometimes, too, we may be concerned with traffic, right? If all the classes start and end at the same time and you've got a big influx of people going in or out. But I feel like in that location, I don't know if there would really be a traffic concern regardless of how many people are going in and out. And as far as parking goes, I mean, I feel like there's plenty of spots, and I would expect that, given that training domain is almost 50% of that they should be allowed at least 50% of the spots to have adequate parking.
There's one other thing as well that kind of helps support everything, is that we'll issue a zoning permit for basically all uses here in town. So we'll document everything for any business or usage here in town. That'll help solidify the plan before we create some sort of an issue as well.
Got it. Perfect.
Should that be part of the zoning, so the special use is the limited number of parking number of users?
I mean, in terms of, I think we just need to basically solidify that we have enough parking for these uses. In terms of if another use would come into the space, we would have to have a issue a zoning permit before they would occupy anyway. So, I mean, as long as we have enough adequate parking for this use.
Right.
So
So we don't have to specify a number, we can just say, ensure that there's adequate parking.
The special use is good for ever, basically. So, I mean, a training domain leaves, we could turn it into a different kind of gym, which maybe has more parking load.
We just have to make sure that they would have enough parking based on whatever that future use would be before they occupy, which
Yeah.
you have to have a zoning permit for, you get utilities or occupy the space, have a life safety plan.
So they'd have to go through an assessment again with you guys, if it switched owner. And plus, isn't it a year? If it goes empty for a year, then the special use goes away?
Yes.
Can I ask a question? I mean, we're talking very long-term, but I guess I was under the assumption that the special use would be particular to her business, but you guys are saying it's allocated to the building itself. That's correct.
Unless it was empty for 1 year.
Correct.
Any more questions for the petitioners?
Oh, I had a question. How long is your lease?
We're currently discussing a 10-year.
If no further questions, you guys can
Thank you.
sit down. And we ask at this point if there's anybody in the audience who would like to make a public comment. Please be sworn in and state your name and address.
Mike Unzicker. We have a business at 937 Detroit Avenue, which is right close. I can tell you, I've known Mark and Monty for a long time. They're good operators. When that was an auto repair location, 50 cars is nothing in there compared to what it was. For 20 cars, 15, whatever they're going to have, is not going to be any big deal. An empty building is not a good building. And for somebody like them to be in our neighborhood, I'd love to see it. I'd love to have them as our neighbors. So, that's it.
Good to hear. Thanks. Any questions for Mr. Unzicker? Okay, discussion around the table.
Got a question for Zach. The property to the north there, am I correct in assuming that that is I-1 that also has a special use permit? The other their fitness facility?
Yes,
at the end of that
actually.
cul-de-sac?
Yep, so Impact's got a special use in I, as does the old Gold, now Titan Fitness, has a special use in I.
Okay.
Anything else? If not, I would entertain, well, at this point, we close the public hearing. I did that before this table discussion. So I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve petition 2707 SP.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. And we need a roll call.
Knapp,
Yes.
Ritterbusch, Guile,
Yes.
Keach,
Yes.
Zobers,
Yes.
Opperly,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Okay. So that moves on to the village board. And that's the last thing we have on the agenda, I believe. So unless there's any comments from the village tonight? Okay.
Thank you.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor? All opposed? Thank you very much.